Hi everyone, welcome or welcome back. Today we are celebrating the release of the final seasons of The Witch Oracle. Now all 8 are out, and I actually just got them for the first time. I was holding out just in case they were going to do some kind of special with the 8 of them, but they did not. So I went ahead and got them. And I'm so excited. It was really nice to have the in bulk oracle for in bulk because that's a very important sabbat to me. And I'm looking forward to playing with all of these together now. My plan is to look at patterns between the decks. I'm going to try to split them up into a bunch of different mini decks based on different things like animals and tools and things like that. So we're just going to have a play today. I thought this would be a fun way to show all of these for anyone who doesn't have all of them. So without further ado, let's get into it. So here they all are. They look so good together. My main activity that I want to start with is just making a bunch of mini decks out of these because I think that would be really interesting. So I think I'm actually going to work backwards and start from the most recent one since it's like the most representative of their final vision for the series, and then we can sort of go from there. So let's see. I have no idea if this is even gonna like make sense or be worth it. Like who knows, maybe I'm just gonna spend a lot of time putting these back into place, into order, but let's give it a go. So the Astara Oracle is so lovely. So I want to do one for food. Let's do this so I don't forget because I totally will forget with some of them if they're similar, which I think some of them might be. Oh yeah, there's definitely going to be one for crystals and astrological signs, even though that's not going to be a very big pile. Okay, just to skip ahead as I'm figuring all of this out, I am trying to make categories for everything. I'm going to see what little mini decks we have. The activities versus rituals is very debatable, but yeah, we'll have a confusion pile. There was spring equinox for time. And like, who am I to decide really like what counts as an activity versus a witchier ritual, but this is just my attempt. Time of year. Well, that's a goddess, actually. I keep thinking it means Easter, but it's actually a goddess, so I'll take that back. So just skipping ahead, I've made all these little categories for mini decks. Some of them are going to be a lot larger than others, and then I also have a pile to the side for ones that I don't know how to place yet, so we will review those after I've separated these. I think there literally might be like 2 goddesses total, like this one and Bridget, but we'll find out. Next is Floromancy, which again, I'm saying what's a ritual and what isn't, but a lot of these activities can also be rituals. I'm just making an attempt to parse it out. Okay, so looking at the unknowns, yeah, I'll make one for naturey phenomena. So that is the Astara Oracle, and now we're just gonna keep it coming. We might need a places category. A lot of these are places. Farm to table. We'll put that under food. Food. Plants. Food. Food and plants. Tools. I thought there were going to be way more tools. Maybe craftsmanship can go under tools, actually. So one thing I realized about the Beltane Oracle is that there were a lot of people cards with, like, some of these you could argue are activities, like setting boundaries, but they're really more like personal empowerment and such. So I'm making a people category. So that's another new category for now. And let's move on to Mabon. Also, sorry if I'm not saying these correctly. Some of these, it's like the first time I'm ever really saying it out loud versus thinking it. So I am still learning in a lot of ways. Love how spooky this one is. Plants or food? That looks like a fire hazard. Maybe it's just because I work in a laboratory and I think that way now, safety-wise, but that looks very dangerous. Okay, so far nothing in the I don't know pile, so that's good. Cardinal medicine. So recalling all the animal energies medicine in this deck, in which case I'll put it under animals. So spooky. Even though it's Yule, like all of the fall-ish to winter ones are really spooky like that. That was Yule. Let's do Imbolc next. Alright, last one. Let's see. We have got Litha. What's that dinner activity? This is so, like, I want this to be my life. There we go. I would like this, please. It's winter where I am now, so I would love that right about now. Another crystal, more food. So many drinks in this one. I love it. Alright, that's everything. Some of them, as expected, are very, very small. There are only 4 astrological signs. I wish there were all 8 that would be relevant to these sabbats, but I like it nonetheless. I will put them, you know what, actually, I'll put them under times. So for crystals, we've got aquamarine, peach moonstone, citrine, tiger's eye, crystals and herbs, bloodstone, amethyst, clear quartz, and sunstone. I love it. I think it's a really good representation of crystals too. Maybe like a jasper would have been good in there, but bloodstone is cool. And I like all the little wolfies that remind me of my dog. What to go through next? Goddesses, also pretty small, so I'll probably put this with people. I'll put crystals into tools too. I have Ustra, Goddess, Green Man, Sun God, Mother Mary, Bridget, and Angelica. So I will put these in the people pile. Even time could probably be put into nature, arguably. If we want to go in order, then it would be Litha here. It's all very spring, summery. Oh, I just want it to be this time of year so badly. It really is like these 4 and then these 4 really seem to stick together. Mabon and Samhain and Yule and Imbolc. It does seem to be split that way. Which would kind of make sense, because if you're starting with the astrological new year, then it would be first half, second half. That is how it really feels. That's kind of why I like Imbolc. It feels like you're finishing out a cycle. Like it's sort of the quiet before things start up again. So yeah, I don't know who will really enjoy this video. Like it might really only be for weirdos like me who like to organize all of their Pokemon cards as a kid. Like this is definitely the vibe that we're doing here. So if that's your thing, then I think you'll dig this video. So this would be next. And then purple. This is so pretty. I hate to be like, I like the second artist's work better than the original artist, but I do. I just do. They're both brilliant for sure. I really like the colors they picked too for each one. I think they all make a lot of sense. These are so pretty. I can't. I hope this is really enjoyable to someone, but yes, if you have all 8 of these decks, you too can do this at home with your life in your limited spare time. Am I sort of questioning everything? Yes, but also there'd be a part of me that like would always want to have done this if I didn't do this now. So I think it's a great way to get acquainted with the vibes. And it actually is helping because again, I sort of see the split between the two halves of the year. And interesting, there were no plants in the Samhain decks. You can look at different patterns like that and observe. I can't wait for it to be these more summery ones. I don't know how they managed to do it with like the color palettes and everything, but they really managed to convey the seasons with the colors. Like, if you gave me any random one of these, I feel like I could guess which deck it belongs to. Obviously, the art style is a hint for some of them, but for the most part, it's not. And between Leo and then, yeah, Citrine and Tiger's Eye were the perfect picks for this. I totally agree. Then we have Samhain. Makes sense, there were a decent amount of tools in that one. And Yule. And Imbolc. A lot of tools in Imbolc. I hope this is entertaining to someone. But yeah, I think this is a helpful introduction. It's a lot to take in, all of them at once. But I do feel like I'm understanding their energies and their unique voices each deck. Here are all the witchiest cards from each one. Here's the first half of the year, and then the second half of the year. And again, a lot of these were debatable. Interesting too, you can like, it's a noticeably different card texture for the first deck. They really were like figuring it out at the time. I really like the Candle Magic card. So yeah, that's that one. So let's do places next. I love the way this artist draws flowers and such. It's so pretty. Even though the art styles are very different, I do still find that everything is cohesive. Like the whole collection does look good together. Love. The Astara one is so pretty. I can't wait to use it during that time. I'm definitely still on Imbolc right now personally, but its time will come. I can't wait to have these. I mean, I'm really looking forward to having these for the coming years. I really like wanted them for the longest time, and I just held off just in case they did some sort of special like box set or something, but I asked the creator, Lorian Anderson, and was told that because so many people had bought them already, that it didn't make sense to release a whole set of them, which I understood that. So fair enough. But these are all of the nature ones. But yeah, these are kind of all the themes that are running through these decks. I sort of noticed these on my first look-throughs of them, and so I thought it would be fun to make a video like this. 2 animals. So I think all of these make a lot of sense. I don't know if I would have thought of grasshopper necessarily as early spring, but I like the choice. Also interesting that bee is for May. I would have pegged it as more of a summer situation. Same with wildcat, like very Leo vibes to me. I could have seen butterflies for Beltane, honestly. This could have been for llamas too. But yeah, there is a lion, so that works out for Leo season. Move on. I feel like if they were making Samhain last, they probably would have put Crow in the Samhain one, but it makes sense to add it in some deck, and the Maban one makes a lot of sense. Frog is very witchy, familiar vibes. I think all of those make a lot of sense. And then I don't know why they went with medicine for the Yule one, but it's certainly interesting. Reindeer. or cardinal bear. I think those make a lot of sense. I don't know why I included antlers. That was definitely a debatable one. House mouse, yep. I got mice in my old apartment around this time of in bulk last year, so too real. Serpent I wouldn't have expected, but it is like a time of preparing to shed, so I get that. Horned owl, groundhog, swan, black bear. So there are multiple bears and owls. Swan is also interesting. You don't see them as much this time of year. That's animals. We can do food. First half of the year. All of this looks so delicious. I don't really have any additional thoughts. I suppose yeah, it's interesting how apples really are supposed to be harvested like sooner than you think. Like, I think of them as a Mabon time type thing, but they really are like, you're supposed to go like early September ideally. Anyway, there's a ton of food in the Mabon one. Tons. I just love all the drinks. Fruit wine, lemonade, sun tea. I've never taken a bath full of citrus fruits either. I think that's intriguing. 1, 2 from Samhain, apples and pumpkin. I think that makes sense. So yeah, even then, like, I think they were going for the witch with the apple kind of vibe here, but to me, even Samhain time is like apple harvesting time, so I've had to realize that's not really quite accurate. I like the in bulk ones too. I made cinnamon rolls because of this card. I don't know if that's silly to be so influenced by an oracle card, but it inspired me, so, you know. Anyway, that's food. I like that there's whiskey too. It's funny. And pumpkin spice and apple cider. They had to do it soon. Yule and in bulk. So that's time. Okay, last one is people. A lot from Beltane. Beltane had a lot of people-y vibes. This was like anything that like wasn't quite an explicit activity. Speaking of explicit activity, there are some of these that I probably shouldn't show on here, but I don't think it's too explicit. Maybe I'll cover it just in case. Just in case, but if you were watching, you saw it. Briefly. A lot of people-y vibes in the Samhain one. A lot of characters. Like, truly a lot. And activities that I didn't quite know how to place. Ta-da! So yeah, I hope this was interesting to someone. I can definitely see this being a big flop and not the most valuable content on here. But I feel like there are some people who would be entertained by this. I would be, personally. I think I just have tastes that aren't the most mainstream, perhaps. But again, it's very organizing all your Pokemon cards on the floor kind of vibes. And I don't know, as soon as I saw the threads that were connecting all of these decks, I really wanted to put them together. Anyway, let me clean these up first. I don't know about mind mapping today. I feel like this was enough. But yeah, I had fun with this. I think it was a good way to get acquainted with all these decks since it's so much to take on in my collection at once. Thank you so much for watching. Take care, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!